Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and happy Wednesday, because that's a thing. Real quick, this is the speed duel deck for today, not the Albaz test hands that'll be out in like an hour. So go ahead, stick around, maybe check that out here soon. But big thanks to Garrett Smith. Garrett Smith, you actually gave me your deck list. You wanted to build more of a Sparkman centric build. And you went ahead, you showed me that list, and you gave me permission to show this off for everybody. So huge shout out to you. Thank you so much for that. Let's get into it. And before we start naming any of the cards, I do want to mention that this is a 25 card build in Speed Duel, so a bit of a risk. But once you guys start seeing the cards, I think that you will agree that it is a calculated risk. The most I would trim this down to is 21, and I'll explain that as we're going through. So real quick, the skill for the day will be Fusion Party. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this one, maybe you skipped Battle City, maybe you're just brand new, checking out the GX Academy box. This skill says activate during the main phase. You can fusion summon a fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters from hand and field as material. May only use this once per duel. This is essentially polymerization and getting the effect without having to discard a card to activate it. So very cool, and I totally understand why we went with this. Let's get the rest of your deck. So real quick, it was 3 copies DD Warrior Lady. And again, this is optional. I like that you went with this option. I might trim these out myself, but this is very good. They're searchable the way that you built this deck, and it really does give you the ability to like pick and choose which flow you're going to go into. Personally, I might side these out or not play them at all. That's just me. Going into the rest of the Elemental Hero monsters, we do see 3 copies of Elemental Hero Blade Edge. Blade Edge putting in a lot of work. We're not usually going to see him as far as an actual summon. Our goal is to just fuse with him and just get him out. That said, we can do it. There is a way to do the Necro Shade with the Dark Bright. We're going to do that with the Fusion Party and not the main fusion skill here. Just in order to make sure that he makes it to the discard pile, which he normally doesn't. So with that in mind, you can actually push for game with Blade Edge. It's just not as common. Single copy of Clayman. Clayman Thunder Giant, not as important in this build, but again, it is Sparkman centric. He does have 3 different fusions that he can be utilized in right now. It'd be a shame if we didn't have this guy. Plus, again, just like with the DD Warrior Lady, this is a good defensive option. So I get it. We got 2 copies of Elemental Hero Necroshade. And again, I get this. This is going to go into our Dark Brights. Additionally, if we use the Fusion Party to get the Dark Bright Fusion to go off, we can then summon our Blade Edge with no tribute. So again, very cool. And then 3 Sparkman. And that's just because he is the special boy today. This deck is built for Sparkman. He looks cool. Everybody, I think, likes him. He's sort of like Iron Man plus Static Shock or something. I don't exactly know how you would describe him. Decent all-around stats. Good card generally. Moving into the spells, you had 2 Cosmic Cyclones. Very important to deal with the back row with this deck. So I get and agree with this. Additionally, you could maybe think about placing Night Beams. I do understand the Cyclone because you do sometimes want to take care of a field spell, get rid of a face-up card. So again, I totally agree with you here. 2 copies Fusion Gate, and again, this is your main method. And again, I respect it because, again, what you're able to do is produce more fusions. You're able to fuse a minimum of 4 times now between using a Fusion Party and then using the Fusion Gates. But really, it's just good. I don't know how else to explain it. 2 copies Nobleman of Crossout to help take care of the down cards. 3 copies Reinforcement of the Army. And again, I wouldn't change the Reinforcement of the Army at all. You do need the 3. It makes the Sparkmen, the Clayman, and the DD Warrior Ladies all searchable, which is why we're able to neglect Thunder Giant and Clayman to a little bit, and why we had to maximize the higher star level cards. Again, this just allows us to sort of even everything out. Moving up next, we got the 4 trap cards. 3 copies of the Floodgate Trap Hole, good for control. and a single copy Metaverse. And Metaverse is really going to let you get that field spell a little quicker. And one thing I like about this is just the ratio here. This 3 copies, rather than just playing 3 fusion gates, playing the 1 copy of Metaverse, I think is actually a little smarter here, because rather than having a possible dead draw of 2 fusion gates, we have the third card Metaverse. So this could be used as a bluff if needed. But at the same time, it is what it is. If I had to cut cards out of here, like I said, I would only cut 4. It'd be 1 copy Floodgate Trample and probably the 3 copies of DD Warrior Lady to take this from 25 to 21. I love a lot of what you did here. The extra deck is pretty good. We got 2 Dark Brights. We got 3 Plasma Vice. Again, this is the big special guy. We run the 1 Thunder Giant. And you actually submitted a sideboard too, which is pretty cool, but you submitted an incomplete one. So I'm going to suggest a card while we talk about what you did. You went with the 3 Breakers because, again, it's more aggressive. It helps take care of the back row. I love it. And you went with the Destiny Hero Doom Lord because, again, this guy is going to be searchable when you side in because of the reinforcement of the army, and he's going to be able to out monsters from the field. So if there is something that's way too powerful to deal with that can be targeted, then you can just go ahead and use Doom Lord's effect, banish them both, and it'll be back later. And then by then you should have won. What I would do, seeing as again we're in GX now, I would just put Lost Wind in your side deck to round that up to the 6, because again, dealing with the special summons, especially from the extra deck, especially Fusion right now, will give you probably the most excessive play from that. So I'm going to put your side deck to the side. We talked about these guys before. Let's just kind of go over the traps, because everything else we've talked about here before. And again, the Metaverse is take a field spell from the deck, either activated or added to the hand. And then the Floodgate Trap Hole is very cool. When the opponent summons a monster or monsters, change that 1 or multiple cards to face down defense. Any monster that had its battle position changed to defense by this effect cannot change its defense or change its battle position. So again, I love the interaction between this and a Nobleman of Crossout, really allowing you to X out and eliminate threats. So seriously, guy, this was actually a very cool deck. And I wanted you to know that, like, I really did appreciate the fact that you sent that to me. And then, of course, let me go ahead and profile that here today. So I'm going to tell you what. This is actually not one of my actual copies of this. So if you get back to me, Garrett, and do that relatively quickly, what we'll do is we will send you this in the mail. Get to me using my email address. I'm going to sign the other one with the other side with a different marker. This way there's a better one, but I just wanted you to see that. What we'll do is you email me a mailing address to send this to at casualduelist78@gmail.com. You can find that on YouTube as well. And then what I'll do is I will send you this skill to help you with your deck so that you can play it, and it's just kind of fun to have. So everybody, have a good one. Do all of the things. And again, if you guys want to see how to use that Albaz Strike $30 budget, about an hour from now, that'll be uploaded as well. Go check that out too. I'll see you guys later.